welcome to Contact Center SA. Thank you for joining us again. Last week we posted a video and just saying thank you to everybody in the industry that's really been keeping the industry going. And this week we want to say a huge shout out and a thank you to an organization that's been doing good work in our communities, the community specifically of Mitchell's Plain. And we really want to shine a spotlight on Shadow Careers this week.
Shadow Careers is headed up by Franco, a pioneer in this industry. He's been around for, well, you can check the video for how long, but definitely an icon in our industry, started various initiatives and really does some great work. Lance, my hometown, Mitchell's Plain is where I grew up.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that, you know, corporate SA can back this initiative and make sure that we springboard into other communities going forward.
Yeah. Check out the video and let us know what you think. Today, we are very privileged to have a celebrity, as I call him, in our industry here in South Africa, in the BPO industry, Mr. Franco. I'm gonna try not to butcher this. Cotumaccio, is that how you pronounce it?
Absolutely, 100%.
Wow, I got it right the first time. That's very cool. Welcome, Franco.
Thank you.
Franco, you have been, I think, about 30 years in the industry. Am I right?
Correct. Yeah.
At the moment, you are the CEO of Shadow Careers.
That's it.
Give us a bit of a rundown of your illustrious CV from within the industry.
Well, first of all, thank you. I don't know about a celebrity, but certainly have the time in. Let's put it that way. So yeah, 30 years ago, I started at that stage with a company that went over to set up in the UK. So 7 of us went over, and I was in the UK for 15 years.
Wow.
Set up a big insurance contact center business out there. And in that time, I think we became, by the time I left, the 3rd largest independent intermediary in the UK.
Sure.
I got homesick, came back to South Africa, spent the next from 2005 back in Cape Town, set up my own business at that stage, which was Full Circle.
Okay.
Again, helping companies to come to South Africa, because at that stage, really, the BPO sector wasn't really in existence. It only started at that time, because we set up in the 2003, 4, 5.
So you would be termed one of the forefathers of BPO in South Africa.
Yes, that always makes it sound very old, doesn't it?
I mean, yourself and Rod Jones are there from the beginning, you know.
Yep.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Okay. But you look a lot younger than Rod, I must say that. I mean, I'm not, no disrespect.
I don't think you'll be happy with that comment, Bushwick.
No, Rod's still looking great. I saw him in Durban just recently, and yeah, definitely one of the founding fathers of the industry for sure.
Tell us, what are you most passionate about? I mean, you've obviously been here, and I think it probably alludes to what you're starting right now with Shadow Careers. Tell us, I mean, what's your passion? What fuels you all the time?
Mashik, I think to answer that question is probably to say when when Capita acquired my business in 2012, and we really were able to grow the business substantially, you know, at times bringing in 300 people a month. I think it was that really started, you know, to make me feel like my purpose was, you know, was being fulfilled in terms of helping to create careers. So for me, it's career creation as opposed to just job, because I really do see it as career creation specifically in our sector, you know, because this is a great place for young people to start and to grow their careers. So I think my passion started very much there. And if I just maybe spend a second on that is, you know, when we were really struggling to find the numbers, and it's not that we don't have them in South Africa, we certainly do. But I think what became a challenge was that most companies are looking for people with work experience.
True.
Yeah.
it was, well, how do we create sustainability for this industry long term if we keep taking people with work experience? How do we then maybe look at taking people without work experience and bring them into the environment? Because there are a lot of very capable young people who are, maybe just matriculated, or they've been on skill programs but haven't been able to get a job. So for me, the pattern was really, how do we create the sustainability so we don't lose the jobs to India or the Philippines in time to come? By bringing in people without work experience and fulfilling my passion, which is to create the jobs as part of it. And that's really where Shadow started to come about. And I can talk a little bit more, but yeah, that was really, the passion is the career creation.
So Shadow Careers, the way I understand it is taking young people and really educating them in the ways I would imagine of the contact center world, and then placing them actually into positions. So I'm assuming you then partner with organizations that require staff. Is that essentially how it works?
Yeah, Lance, so pretty much exactly that. So basically what we do, the five of us who are the founders of Shadow, all very passionate about career creation and also with a lot of experience in the sector. And we decided to pool that experience and create a curriculum that is at the international BPO level, so that would work for local contact centers, but all the way through to your internationals, bringing in matriculants and or people who have not been able to find a job after skilled programs and whatever else for some time, basically assessing them upfront, taking them through a 3-month purpose-specific program, and then into careers. The reason we call ourselves a career creating company is that we basically don't take on more people than we have careers for. So if we bring in 50, we have 50 jobs on the other side, because we don't want to just upskill people. There are lots of programs that do that, and we didn't want to play in the same space as everybody. Everyone has a place in the sector, and the more jobs we can create and the more skills we can create, absolutely 100%. But where we focused our aim and our emphasis was to really create careers, so people actually go through and come out with a career, and that has worked really, really well for the business so far.
That's brilliant. So I mean, for me, that talks to not just, I'm not just upskilling somebody, but I'm actually giving them a livelihood. I'm actually giving them an opportunity to earn a living, and then develop into, let's call it a meaningful contributor to the economy, and then obviously to my family. So it's not just a matter of, from what you're saying, I'm just gonna upskill you and it stops there. I guess my next question is this a for-profit business, or is it a non-profit? Is it where does funding for this come into play?
So I guess, if you were to ask me then what are our major challenges, then for me that really is.
Apologies, I should have asked you that then.
Yeah, if you asked me, I would have found a way to actually answer this particular question, because I think it's crucial that we're able to find the funding, because this isn't a business where you can just take the people through this 3 months without being able to cover the cost of it. So the challenges are that we do not fit into the traditional funding models and mechanisms.
Yeah.
So we fall right outside of the government. So it doesn't matter where we go, we hit up against walls in terms of being able to attract that funding. And that's simply because we don't fit into those traditional mechanisms. And when I say that, there isn't really room for this 3-month program that actually brings somebody into a career. It's new, it's an innovation in the sector, and we're having to work around with and collaborating with government and industry bodies to try and get to get some of that funding. Because if you think about it from a return on investment, to your point exactly, Lance, is the return on investment in the fact that you're bringing someone through the program into a job, and then their contribution to the economy, that's, you can measure it in those terms. Whereas if you look at it, mass skill development, how many of those are actually turning into jobs? And I'm not saying there's not a place for it, don't get me wrong, but there needs to be a space for innovation as well in the sector in that regard. we are looking for funding, and we've had to self-fund. And what we are doing, and we found some amazing organizations that we're working with their mandatory spends on triple B, double E, or CSI spends. We work with them to try and collaborate in their career creation. Because if you think about it, there's absolutely a benefit for everybody in putting funds into those
Agreed.
sort of programs.
I really like that. I think, it's so fitting because, I mean, you touch on a point there. We often create opportunities and we upskill people. But what happens when you don't utilize that skill? It goes away. It becomes part of something that's back in the back and it doesn't do anything for you. So what happens if someone's out there watching this today? How do they link up with you and I guess become a funder?
Well, so two things, Mashika, great question. So from a student perspective, obviously we will always advertise on our website, and I'll give the address when we've got courses running, because those will always depend on funding, and then we'll advertise that. We've got two starting, those are both filled in next week. We've got two courses starting, again, self-funded. And how do companies participate with us? So that would be, a brilliant thing if we could get more of the big corporates to kind of work with us in terms of, they can get hold of us directly on, via any of the social media platforms. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and then online, which is www.shadowcareers.co. Just CO, nothing following that.
Not ZA.
Okay.
Not
Pay
CO.ZA.
attention to that, guys. Yeah.
No, go for let's collaborate.
Okay.
Because I mean, the more we do work together, the more funds we can get. Obviously, more careers we can actually create. And I think that the South African sector has got such an opportunity. We can create, or you've heard up to 750,000 jobs in the next 10 years.
Correct.
Yeah.
We can do that. Quality offshore destination. It's got lots of attraction. So we need to do that. Sorry for probably rambling on there.
No,
it's all-
absolutely fine. I think what I'm excited about is that your model ensures that people get work. Now I'm a little bit, I guess, in the dark around how that functions for you, because it means that, and I mentioned this earlier, it means you need to partner with people, but that pool is only so big within those organizations. So I understand that you need funding, and I understand that is obviously a big part of how you need to move this project forward. But do you also need partners to give you opportunity for job vacancies or job opportunities? Is that also part of where it's going? Because that's what it sounds like. I might be pulling at straws here.
No, you're absolutely right. And I mean, sorry, you did ask the question earlier, and I meant to answer that in exactly that way. So absolutely, we would work with partners, any of the BPOs, and that can be domestic as well as, obviously, we've tended to work with the internationals, because we're bringing the guys up to be able to at least do the jobs of the international BPOs.
Yeah.
So just as an example, this last group, we partnered with an UK financial services business, and we had 100% placement of all the people that came through the program into permanent positions. They graduated 2 weeks ago and started their jobs with the company 2 weeks ago, and it's been an collaboration. But we exactly that. We would then speak to the likes of our BPO partners and across the board, asking them how many vacancies, and bearing in mind, if say they are recruiting 100 people, they're not going to take 100 from a shadow program, because these are people without previous work experience. So we blend that into their overall recruitment.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, I'm burning to ask this question, because I'm from Mitchell's Plain originally. Why Mitchell's Plain, and are we looking at other communities out there?
Awesome question. My answer is, why not Mitchell's Plain or one of the other communities? For me, the biggest challenge, and I know we couldn't do it 10 years ago because maybe infrastructure wasn't as it is today, but for me, I always wanted to have, my vision has always been to have our businesses, even the BPO business, in the places where most of our agents, middle management would actually come from. So for example, Mitchell's Plain is an ideal position to have the center, because the majority of the people working, say, in our BPO, if we were in town, would be coming from Mitchell's Plain, Khayelitsha, or some other surrounds. And why 4,000 people should travel into town when 200 could travel out of town?
Sure.
And that's really why, it may not work for everybody, but for me, that was a passion. And that's why we put our money where our mouth is. And Shadow Careers is based in Mitchell's Plain, and we will grow there. To answer your question, we will then grow into other communities outside of Mitchell's Plain and into other parts of South Africa. Hopefully, if we can get all the funding and the model working properly, we hope to be replicating this model across South Africa, all of us creating more jobs. It's
great.
Fantastic.
How has the industry received, and I'm talking locally now, how has the industry received Shadow Careers?
Well, maybe you can ask some of them in your next
Well, if you click and you like and you subscribe, and you can ask those questions on YouTube yourself, Franco.
Absolutely.
But yeah, definitely.
And I think this is such a great initiative, guys. I really, really do, because it's getting people talking and collaborating. And like we were saying earlier, the more we get this message out, the more we are talking, the more those things that people don't know about are known, and then we can actually create almost crowdfunding, initiatives.
I love it.
Yeah.
So how are they taking? I think, we have spoken to a number of partners who are currently looking at how we can work with them, and also, with COVID sort of coming to the level 2 stage or whatever, I think a lot of the recruitment will probably start happening again.
Yeah.
So we are very positive and hoping to do more of that work. Clearly, it all depends on funding. But the more funding we can attract, the more jobs then we can actually help to create.
Sure.
Hopefully that answers.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
I think it was really important to just get some of this information out there. And I'm really excited about the birth of Shadow Careers and looking forward to it growing into a national initiative. Yeah.
I just have one more question. What can we as Contact Center SA do to try and assist in you moving forward with this initiative, Franco?
Lance, what would be really, really great would be to try and get the word out to the big corporates. Really, when I say, they have to, there's mandated spend. And if they are looking at ways to spend it, because a lot of the time, and lots of companies get into this position. They get into the position towards the end of their financial years and they suddenly have to spend money.
Yeah.
And if you think through that and you think, well, if you spend it in the right way, responsible business over the year, and in places that are going to return investment. And when you really return investment to creating jobs, you're helping everybody, not just the person who's getting the job.
Agreed.
It's their family, the community, the country. So as South Africans, my plea is that we all get out there and work closer together. We work well together. We're a great nation. But this is the time where we need to take our anthem really literally and say, it's the call to come together and united, we must stand. Let's do this together, South Africa.
Yeah. Great. I think we will definitely try and do that in terms of spreading the word of Shadow Careers. And thank you, Franco. I think we've learned a lot from just the short interview with you. There's so much that has come out of it, and I think it's something that we certainly will be spreading the word within our circles, and hopefully it starts to snowball. So thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on to Contact Center SA. We appreciate it. And I think if we get to an opportunity, if you'll allow us to possibly come pay a visit to Shadow Careers, and just take some footage there, and that way also spread the word via our platform.
That would be awesome. We'd love to have you there. We'd love to host you, Lance and Mashik. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and I really appreciate you reaching out to interview me. Thank you very much.
Lance, creating careers. I mean, not training where you train and then someone might use those skills going forward.
Yeah.
Actual career creation, you know, fit for purpose. That's what I see it as, and I think it's groundbreaking. It's different. It's where we should be going. Utilize your resources. You know, that's what I think personally.
Yeah. Agreed, Mushfiq. And I think here's an individual and his team who's actually putting their money where their mouths are, because they actually invest in their own money and funds and helping this community and helping individuals actually not just develop in a skill set, giving them the training, but also placing them in positions and obviously then contributing to not only the economy but to their families as well, which is absolutely what we require in terms of where our youth is at this point. We need unemployment to fall.
Agreed. I mean, you know, it's an unprecedented time we find ourselves in, and you know, as Contact Center SA, we are fully supportive of any opportunities for job creation, and any new and creative ways are always welcome, because we've got to break the old molds. We've got to make sure that we take this opportunity to explore new ways, and this is one of those ways. And I can only wish Franco and the team major success in their space. Hoping that corporate SA, particularly the contact center industry, opens their eyes and their ears to this initiative and gets behind him.
Yeah.
Which certainly is going to be one of those initiatives that we are very, very eager to support, and we're looking for more of them out there. So if there's anybody that's doing anything creative or anything different, or you just want to make sure that we know about the 50 or the 10 jobs, or even the 5 jobs, you know, let us know. Get to us so that we can help you spread the message going forward.
Yeah. And we'd like to appeal to corporate South Africa to contact and go onto the website to contact Franco and his team and see how you can contribute, see how you can add value to this brilliant initiative to increase the job levels within the country. And don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, and leave some comments at the bottom for us. We'd love to engage with you. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you need any information around this particular initiative, Shadow Careers, let us know.
That's us. Thank you very much.
Cheers, everyone.